I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
Morning, guys. Thank you so much for coming through the Wesofly morning show every day at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please be sure to visit wesoflymorningshow.com. That way you can, subscribe to that YouTube channel, click the notification bell so that you're notified of every time we upload, and leave some love in the comments under whatever video speaks to you. And we also have a podcast. We're going to be updating that more often now, too. So you can find that through Spotify and other platforms that we will list for you guys too. So we'll have all that info on the Instagram, so you can also find us there. But yeah, so this morning we're talking about how to appreciate life. Okay, so we all know how frustrating life can be sometimes, So we're all, used to going through ups and downs. We all know what it feels like to have bad days. We all know what it feels like to have really good days, And of course, we want more good days than bad days. Who doesn't? We all want positivity, no negativity, for the most part. Good morning. How are you? Okay. So yes, we all want to have positivity more than negativity. That's natural, and that's what we should want. But I'm saying all that to say, we all get frustrated. Nobody's exempt from adversity. No one's exempt from going through hardships. You know what I mean? For the most part. So we all have a different set of goals and everything in mind. Different sets of goals and dreams, and we long to do more of what we love. Ideally, if we could, we would do what we love every single day. But I always say, sometimes you got to do what you don't want to do in order to get where you need to be. Not exactly where you want to be, but where you need to be. And then you can do more of what you want, because you have a lot of needs that need to be met. Once we meet our needs, then we can worry about the things that we want. So, and I think I had said the other day, if I'm not mistaken, that God puts you exactly where you need to be, and He puts you in the situation to where you grow into the person you were designed to be, not so much, who you thought you would be. Because we all have a certain way of being in our minds. We all have an ideal person that we strive to be, to become. But for the most part, whoever that person is, you're going to be whoever you need to be. So like I said, we all have different sets of goals and dreams. We want to do what we love, and we convince ourselves that now is not the right time. Well, to be honest with you, there'll never fully be a right time. There's never a right time for anything. You just either do it or you're never going to do it. It's that simple. Either you live life or you're never going to live. A lot of people wait till the last minute to start living their life. They start waiting up until a lot of things have happened. They're much older, whatever the case may be. Not saying that that's a big deal. Like, age doesn't mean a thing. You can live life whenever you see fit. But I think it's better to take advantage of time earlier on than to wait until later on in your life to start truly living. So you want to live early, and that way you can experience all parts of life and not just some of it, and have resentment, because that's where resentment comes in, from not fully extending yourself enough to live life to the fullest. And that right there is a huge way to appreciate life. Just live to the fullest. Just live. Simply live. Simply be. Like, don't think. Don't be too emotional. Don't feel too much. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just simply be. Just have your own flow and be comfortable with it. You know what I mean? So yeah, just have it that way. So you keep waiting for the big moment, thinking that, all right, there's going to be a huge moment that's going to come, and then everything's going to fall into place and my life is going to be picture perfect, the life that I dreamed of. Yeah, that can happen, and it will happen as long as you put all the steps into place to make it happen, of course. Then yeah, you can do anything and everything you want to do. But when you make big changes, that's when it leads to happiness. When you make changes in general, you have to make some sort of progression in order for your life to become the one that you want. You can't just daydream about stuff and don't do anything after that. Like, that doesn't work that way. Like I said, we all have dreams, we all have goals, but if we never act out on them, what's the point? Like, honestly, what is the point of having a vision if you never make any steps to make that vision happen? It's the same thing with life. Like, don't worry so much about how you're going to get there. Just know, keep in your mind and manifest that you're going to get there. But in the meantime, do what needs to be done until you can get there. You know what I mean? Still live life until you can live the life of your dreams. You know what I mean? So you don't stop living your best life, as we say in this generation. You don't stop living your best life just because you can't live the life that you ideally want, because life overall is just, it's a gift. Just to wake up every day, just to open your eyes, just to have fresh air in your lungs, and to be able to breathe on your own and walk on your own, and talk and just think, you know what I mean? All of that is a blessing. But we don't see it that way because we're so busy worrying about what society tells us we should be, how society tells us our minds should work, how society tells us what kind of job we should have by now, or by a certain age bracket, what you should be doing in your age group. It's just so much pressure. So that's why I said in the beginning, life can be frustrating at times because we know what we want. But it's like, I feel like a lot of us are comfortable in our own skin. It's just that we get pressured by what we see online. We get pressured by conversations that we have with certain people. And it starts to get into the mix of who we want to be versus who they want us to be. So then we start hating our lives and we start hating ourselves. And we just start looking at life with a negative lens. We don't think about life in a good way. We look at it as a burden more than a blessing.
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
Everybody's telling you, like I said, who you should be, what you should have done by now, and what you need to be doing, and what your age group means, and they're defining you for you, and that's not okay. And that's where assertion comes into play. You have to be assertive and put your foot down and not tolerate that kind of stuff. But of course, if you're a more shy person by nature, it's going to take time for you to groom that part of yourself. But that part is there. We all have that assertion within us. It's just natural. But we have to act out on it. We have to practice that and understand that whatever you practice becomes habitual. So, with that being said, if you practice having more of a positive mindset, that then triggers, more release of endorphins and all those good, those good nerves or whatever. I don't know the technical term right now. It'll come to me later. But all the good nerves that we need, besides endorphins, which is the main one we all know. I think, what was the other one? Dopamine. Dopamine is the one that comes from social media. When you get all those likes and you get all those follows, that releases that good old dopamine. Or when that person you likes calls and texts you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's that dopamine release because you get attention. You get what I mean? But you can't just be excited about your life because other people are validating you. You have to validate yourself. We talk about this all the time. Self-love is the best love. We can't worry about if the world doesn't see what we see, or if the world doesn't feel where we're coming from, or if the world doesn't praise us enough or praise us at all. Like, we need to do that for ourselves. Whatever you're searching for in other people, you need to fuel that into yourself. Instead of looking to these other people to do that for you, you need to be the one to do that for yourself. You know what I mean? So, and I know that that's hard. It's a hard concept, especially if you're somebody that's been looking to outside sources to fuel you for so long, and you're not used to doing self-love practices, and you don't know what self-care really is because you've never really dived into that kind of way of being. I get it. Certain lifestyles are not, that popular because they don't really prioritize. Well, they're doing it more now. I'll say that. I'll give them credit. Society is prioritizing mental health a bit more than they used to, but I still feel like they could do a better job, but whatever. We're getting there. And with this movement that we got going on with the positivity spread and the Wesofly morning show, we're going to help them to understand what self-care is. We're going to help them to understand self-love better. And we're going to, prioritize mental health and make everybody feel good about wellness and have a wellness routine. You know what I mean? Because your mental health is everything. And that's what helps you to appreciate life. You ever notice that you can work out like crazy, or you can, be physically attractive and get the ideal body that you want and all that stuff, and maybe you thought, okay, once I get the perfect body, or once I get this perfect job, or once I move into this perfect setting or whatever, or have the perfect friend group or perfect boyfriend, girlfriend, once me and my family are straight, then I'm going to appreciate life. Then I'm going to be happy. No, it does not work that way. That's the wrong thing to do, because you're worrying about the wrong things. Those are I'm going to be honest, those are kind of superficial things to be focused on, because those things can leave at any point in time. Friendship, I'm sorry, it's not destined to be permanent, depending. I don't know. Well, nothing is permanent in life, to be honest. So, hey, we already know that. But you know what I mean? You can't, because you're setting yourself up for failure in disguise. We may not know that. And that's not to be negative. I'm just saying, be realistic. Like, you putting all of your happiness into these people around you, or this job, or this house, or this car, or even your body, that's not healthy. You know what I mean? Because those things change every day. They're going to change at some point. So you don't want to be so excited about these things that you put all your energy into it, and that's all you care about. That's your main focus every day. Because if that changes in the way that you don't like, it causes you to fall apart. Like, if you cut out, like, you and your friends fall out, and those are the people that you've been hanging out with every day for years, and that's your life source, that's become your life source, that they give you life, your daily conversations and interactions give you life, that's bad. Because the minute that those people leave, where's your life source? Or the minute your lover leaves, where's the life source? Or the minute you and your family have some sort of, falling out, where's the life source? Or your body doesn't, your health starts to get a little weird, or you know how that goes. We're human. We go through things. Where's your life source? You got to fuel your mind. Your mind is forever. Like, yes, physical health is definitely important. I think you should prioritize that for sure. I'm not going to, that one is a little tricky. But the other ones, I don't think you should prioritize other people as much. I think, and this may sound very harsh, but the people around you need to be secondary in comparison to yourself. That does not mean to be selfish, but that's how self-love works. Like, if we're talking about self-love is the best love, that's the harsh truth that we got to come to terms with. I mean, it's not really harsh, to be honest. It's just society makes you feel selfish for thinking like that. But people around you come second compared to you. I'm just being honest, because if you're honestly putting people first every single day of your life, how are you living? How are you appreciating your life? It sounds like you're appreciating their life, actually. Because if you're worrying about their physical health, their mental health, their dreams, their goals, their energy overall, it sounds like you're living their life for them. I don't think you have time to live your own life if you're taking care of everybody else around you. And the person who does that every day, trust me, it's hard to live your life when you're living other people's lives for them. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's very difficult. So I'm in the process of, you know, adjusting that, because I'm on the other side of it, where I prioritize a lot of people, and, like, I'm trying to work my way in there with me, and that's weird, because it should be the other way around. If anything, it should be where you're working other people into your schedule, and you're the main source of everything.
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
Thank you for that follow. So it's a strange thing what we do, but that's only because society tells you that if you have the audacity to love on yourself, or you have the audacity to think that you're great and self-love is the best love, you're selfish. Like, no, no, ma'am, no, sir, that's not true. That is the only way to appreciate life, is to love yourself. Because if you don't love you, who's going to love you? And if you don't have that positive mindset about yourself, if you don't see yourself as the best thing ever, you're not going to see your life as the best life ever. You know what I mean? You're not going to see the good qualities that you have. You're not going to see the beauty in your life. You're not going to see how blessed you are as a person, because just by you being alive, just by you being you, that's a blessing, like I said. But it's about the small things in life. The smaller details, the details in general, but you can't see all the details until you let it be a gradual process. So start small. Look at the small blessings that you have. Like I said, open it. Well, that's not small. I don't even want to give you a measuring scale because everybody's definition of small and versus big is different. So whatever you deem to be the smaller details, I'll leave that up to you because I was about to give my list, and that's up for discussion. That is going to depend on the person, but you know what I'm talking about, like, just the little things. The little things count, and start with the little things, and then you climb your way up to looking at the bigger picture, and then you see your life overall. Once you fill in the pieces, there's some gaps there. That's why you're struggling to see how good your life is, because there's some gaps that you got to fill in. But once you fill in those gaps, yeah, there you go. I come before you. There you go. You know what I mean? So you got to fill in those gaps, and then you can see the full picture, because right now we're looking at, it's almost like not having the full puzzle together yet. It's like you're putting the pieces there and you're still trying to figure out what, when you were a kid and you had like those puzzles that you would order or whatever, and like you had to put it together. You didn't know what the picture was, what was it until you put it together, and then you were amazed at what it was because you thought it was something entirely different. As you're putting it together, you're like, what is this? And then when you see it, you're like, really? That's how life is sometimes. Sometimes you're at a phase that you despise. That's why you do not like your life, because you're in a phase of your life where you're like, this is very uncomfortable. I feel awkward, or I feel very, if you're going through depression, stress, anxiety, all that stuff, it's very hard for you to appreciate those things and to see a way out, or to see, your way around things, and to see that this is going to work out for the better later on. People can tell you a million times a day that God has a plan for you and God sees you as a special person. That's why he puts you through so many different tests and quizzes and all that good stuff. But if you don't believe that you're a special being, you're not going to see this life as special. You're not going to see your journey as a special one. Because you got to understand, your journey is different from everyone else's around you. All of our journeys are different. All of us are different. You know what I mean? And that's what's so great about living. You get to be whoever you want to be. No one can tell you who to be. You decide who to be. And that right there should be exciting for everyone. You can be literally anyone or anything you want in this lifetime. I don't care if you want to, like, this is going to be a silly example, but people have done it. I bet you if you search it, you'll see what I'm talking about. You can be a cat if you want. People have gone to get surgeries to be a cat, okay? So if that floats your boat, if that makes you happy, do it. I don't care. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me. Society is going to say what they're going to say, but, and yes, just be yourself. But I'm just giving you the wildest example I could think of, because you can literally be anything. Like, if something makes you happy, do that, or go after that, or be whoever you want to be. Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, whatever floats your boat. Nobody can tell you anything. Like, if you feel like you're a king or a queen and you want to claim that and live your life as such and feel like royalty, who cares? Okay, they can't tell you you're not. Your perception is your reality. Your perspective is your reality. So nobody can take your reality from you. That's what I'm saying. So once you build your perspective and you build it into the one that you can believe, and one that you can live up to every day, and one that you can walk into, really stand strong in and feel authentic, then it becomes easier to see life for what it truly is, and to see the life that you've always wanted, and to understand what your vision really is, and the steps, the strategies to get there. Because as long as you have clouded judgment, or you don't really have a vision, or you don't really feel secure, it's very difficult to be grateful for what you have, because you're not really focused on that. You're focused on what you don't have. And that's a major key. Don't focus so much on what you don't have. And if you don't have it, work towards getting it. But at the same time, be grateful and be, understanding of what you do have. See it for what it's worth. Life is worth everything. Choosing to live every day is worth it all, because it's not worth giving up on, because you never know. We always say how you never know how close you are to the breakthroughs until it really counts. You know what I mean? Like you can try something a million times and fail at it, or make mistakes, and you just think, oh well, this is not for me. And you could try that million time plus one, and then it breaks through that door. Just that plus one, that extra, thank you, good morning. That extra time that you just tried, and then you just break through. You never know. There's no time limit on life for the most part. We don't know what's going to happen. Like all of this is divine timing. All of this is done by divine intervention, everything, I believe. I believe we have choices for sure, but whatever's going to happen is going to happen, as they say. Whatever's meant to be will be. But that doesn't mean that you should like get scared and not live life, or second guess yourself, or overthink, or just, hide. No, embrace that whatever you want you can have. Like manifestation is a real thing. Embrace those types of things. Those are strategies designed for you to succeed. You know what I mean? Like so often we worry about how we're not succeeding and we see ourselves as failures, but we don't ever look at the tools that are literally handed to us every day to make those success stories happen, or to live that life of our dreams. You know what I mean? Like we have so many tools. Like, first of all, you're born with one, your brain. Your brain is the biggest tool ever that can give you everything that you want. And this other stuff is just a bonus. But the brain, that's an automatic tool that we all have for free. We don't have to pay for that. It's our birthright. We were given a brain since birth. So it's like if you're not utilizing that greatest tool, that's the greatest tool on earth.
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
Utilizing that I don't know what to tell you, because I've said before, your mind can take you to so many different dimensions and realms, whatever you want to say. That spirituality, all that good stuff can take you to so many different avenues. You'd be surprised, but you just got to be excited. You got to be positive. You can't maximize on negativity. You got to take advantage of what positivity is all about. Not saying that you should do toxic positivity, because there's a difference. Toxic positivity is when you overlook all of all of the negativity and act like it's not there. We're not acting like negativity doesn't exist. We're just not feeding into it. There's a difference. We know it's there. We know it's right around us. We know it's trying to talk to us. We know all that. We know when it's in our presence, but we just choose not to give life to it. That's the difference. Now that's real positivity right there. That's what I call optimism. Optimism is real positivity in my book. That toxic positivity stuff where get over it, you know what I mean, and all that, that's not healthy, because that's not solving the problem. That's not looking at the problem. That's just overlooking everything and just, living in a dream world. We don't want to live in a dream world. We want to be real. We want to be alert. We want to be awake. We want to be self-aware. We definitely want to be here. We want to make that choice to be here and to deal with our issues. But the way that we deal with them is through positivity, is through love, is through self-care, is through anything that's good. And understand that we're human, so we're bound to make mistakes. And it is okay to make mistakes as long as your intentions are good. Things like that. You know what I mean? That's still being optimistic, because you're still applauding yourself. You're still uplifting yourself. You're not discouraging yourself. You're encouraging yourself instead. You know what I mean? So it's all a process, though. This is all about the process of elimination, eliminating your stresses, eliminating your anxiety, eliminating depression as much as you can, and maximizing on things that are going to benefit you and are going to help your mental health and are going to help you to stay focused and to stay driven and to stay on that path that God has paved out for you. But the only way to see this is to enjoy life. That's where it all starts, is just to see life as an adventure, because that's what life is. Life is like a big adventure. You never know what's going to happen. You never know how things are going to turn out. But that's good, because if you knew everything, what would be the point? How would life be exciting if we had all the answers all the time? How would life be exciting if we knew what was going to happen before it happened? Would that be fulfilling? No. Would you learn from that? No, because you would have the option to change it all the time, and nothing would truly go down, really, because we would always try to change our realities all the time. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't be beneficial, and I understand that because I always talk about being perfect and all that, but then I ask myself, okay, if I was perfect, would I be happy then? Because that's what my mindset is, like I have that natural perfectionist issue. Perfectionism is difficult. Where I think if my life was perfect, if I was perfect, then everything would just be, it would be amazing, but not really. It would be boring and there would be nothing to do. And I would have done everything. Everything would be easy for me and I wouldn't have to work for anything. I wouldn't like that. I don't think any of us would. So we talk about all these things that we want and we idolize all these different, lifestyles and all that stuff, but and I know it's always like the grass is greener on the other side and it must be so much better to have a life like that or to have that kind of guy in your life or that kind of girl in your life or to have that kind of family. And we just idolize all this stuff that we see, but little do we know, like, do you really know what's going on the other side? You know what I mean? Do you really know what that person deals with on a day-to-day basis? You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Like, do you truly understand what that life really comes with? Because you're on the outside looking in. You're not inside, you're on the outside. So it's easier to say that when you're a third person. Like it's like having a third person perspective. But when you're the person in the situation, it could be a totally different story. You know what I mean? And that's why I said, like, having that mindset of, oh, when I get this job or when I make this amount of money, then I'm going to start living. No, no, no. Living never stops. Life never stops. Life continues on forever. Life is always going to be ongoing. Whether we take a pause, we take a break, whatever we do, it doesn't matter. Life is always going to continue to be life, regardless of what we're doing. And the minute we understand that, the minute we can really get a move on things, because life is not going to wait for you to get right. Life is either going to help you to get right or it's going to set things into place to make you get right. It's one of the two. There's no option with that. Like you're going to get right some kind of way, either by force, unfortunately, or voluntarily. We all know that adversity, it can either be a blessing to you or you can look at it as, something that's hurtful. And I don't think we should look at it as something as hurtful though. Something that's hurtful because it's a signal to tell you what to do. It's basically trying to guide you in the right direction. It can be harsh. It's definitely not the best approach all the time. Adversity is not nice. It's not gonna sugarcoat. It's not gonna hold our hand. None of that. No, that's what God is for. But God puts these things into place to not to take you out, not to hurt you, but to give you a wake up call sometimes. Sometimes you take life for granted. So God has to show you like, hey, don't get too comfortable now because this is what can happen if you don't take control, or this is what can happen if you don't, love this the right way or love yourself the right way or appreciate these things for what they're truly worth. You know what I'm saying? So, it's to just give us a wake up call. It's not to be mean spirited or to beat us down. And then we always think that like, oh God, life is just beating me up. No, it's not. It's building you. It's not beating you up at all. It's building you up. If anything, it's trying to make you be that person that you want to be. Because like I said, be careful with the language that you speak. You say you want to be successful, right? You say you want to be a certain person, right? You say you want to have a certain lifestyle, right? So you got to be prepared for that preparation stage.
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
Now, that preparation stage is not going to be the one that you like, but it's going to be the one that's necessary for you to get that lifestyle that you're looking for or be that person that you need to be or feel the things that you like to feel. It's not going to always be how you want it to be, but it's going to be the way that you need it to be. Wants and needs are two totally different things. What we want is what we want, but what we need may not always match up with what we want. What you need is like, just like it said, a necessity. It's something that has to happen. But a want is something that may or may not happen. You know what I mean? It's something that we would like, but does that mean it's set in stone? No. But needs, for the most part, I feel like God is going to give you what you need more so than what you want. So, but that's okay. That's okay. You just learn to roll with the punches, and you can still, like I said, I don't think it's so black and white all the time. I still think you can get what you want just within reason. You know what I mean? Like, don't be greedy, don't be selfish, but you can still get what you want. You just got to be realistic with it. Set yourself up for success and don't be out here living unrealistic visions. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, like thinking you can fly and stuff like that. Like, let's be real, stuff like that. I understand we think we're superhumans and all that good stuff, and that's what movies are for. That's what books are for. Things like that. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't want to shut anybody's dreams down, because I feel like anything is possible, but anything that's beyond human means, yeah, all right, we just got to leave that up to the storybooks and stuff. But other than that, man, you could be an entrepreneur, you could be a billionaire. I don't care. The sky is the limit. Do your thing. Like, can't nobody tell you anything. With that kind of stuff, like anything that's on planet Earth, let's go for it. But so, like I said, learn to be mentally present, learn to live in every moment, appreciate every moment for what it's worth. And I understand that it's tough to appreciate, those different, I want to say, how would I put this? It's difficult to appreciate every moment, I'll say, because like I said, things like adversity, you're not going to really appreciate that. Like, you're not going to appreciate going through hardships in that moment. But when you're outside of that, when you've moved past it, when you've broken through, then you can look back and appreciate it. You will, just not right now. Like, all the things that you're going through right now that are giving you a hard time and making life seem like it's bad for you right now, you're going to thank it later. I know that sounds very strange, but we all do it. We all look back and we laugh at things that we thought we couldn't make it through, and we smile and we're like, wow, God was really looking out for me and I didn't even know. Exactly. So understand that now so that it's not hard for you to do it later. Like, understand that now so that you don't regret life is so much, and you don't hold yourself back so much, and you don't like take away from your timeline so much, because like we I'm gonna be honest, we waste so much time with the ways our minds are set up. Good morning, because we're focused on, like I said, what's not working, what we don't have versus what we can do and what we're capable of, and how amazing we are as people. Let's focus on our gifts. Let's talk about our talents, our skills. Let's not talk about what we can't do. Let's talk about what we can do. Like, how about that? Let's how about we start making positive conversations popular? Because I noticed, and we all do this, let's be real. 9 chances out of 10, every time you have a conversation with somebody, they're always complaining about something, or you're always complaining about something. Do you find yourself having a positive conversation the majority of the time, or do you find yourself saying, man, this is so stupid, I can't stand this, or I wish this was like this instead, or they told me to do this. Can you believe that? Like, you're complaining. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's very rare that we don't have that kind of interaction. And it's not that we're arguing or anything, we're just venting. And don't get me wrong, I don't think anything's wrong with venting. But every conversation you have shouldn't be you complaining. Because you know what that's doing? That's sending a signal to God and the universe that you're ungrateful. And when you're ungrateful, blessings don't come to you. You know what I mean? So every time you complain, you're sending a request in saying, oh, I'm not ready for this. Don't worry about it. Like, I can't handle that yet. Don't worry about it. Don't give it to me yet. It's not the time. I'm not ready yet. So all that you're doing, you're working against yourself and you don't even know it. You know what I mean? You're telling God that it's not the right time. You can't handle the blessings. You can't handle the lifestyle of your dreams. Thank you. Thank you. You can't handle any of that because you're complaining. You know what I mean? So when we complain, all we're doing is feeding the negativity. All we're doing is making negativity our best friend, and we're shunning positivity. We're saying positivity, you're not my friend today. Negativity is the way. You know what I mean? And that's not the message you want, though, but subconsciously that's what you're doing. And the only way I know this is because I complain a lot. So, you know what I mean? I had to stop one day and I had to sit down with myself and think about why things don't work out the way I want them to in life. And it's because of the language. It's because of the way I speak. I speak things into existence. We all do it. Everything we say is manifestation. Everything that we say is an affirmation. So we're affirming where we are right now. Where you are today, you've affirmed that some kind of way. You didn't know how, when, where, but you did. You brought that into existence because of what you were saying. You know what I mean? So, and then, yeah, like, nobody wants to be around negative Nancy's and stuff like that. Like, that's not good energy. But at the same time, I'm not saying, like, if your friends are going through something, be there for them. Don't turn your back on them because they're going through something. I don't perceive that as negative. That's okay, Prisha. I don't perceive that as negative. I just think that that's just them being human. But if you're a person that complains 24 hours a day and that's all you do, that's your nature, then yeah, nobody wants to be around that. You know what I mean? But if you can see positivity and you at least try to be positive somehow, then okay, you can work your way up. Because we're all human. But take it for what it is. So then, a lot of people think of, okay, well, what's the secret to happiness? The secret to happiness is you. You are your secret to happiness. There's no secret. It's right there in the open. We all have the key to happiness, ourselves, our mindset, our bodies, our spirit. You know what I mean? You want to know how to get to happiness and how to enjoy your life and how to take advantage of life? Be yourself, love yourself, and just be present.
I'm getting